And we are back with part 2 of our NHL playoff predictions.
This time, we are focusing no longer on the playing games, but the rest of the playoffs after that.
Yes, the 1 versus 8 reseeding playoffs.
So I'm going to show up on the screen right now what our brackets were before. And then so now you can see what we're going to be basing it off of. Jack, we'll start off with your Eastern Conference rounds.
So I have the number 1 seed, Tampa Bay Lightning, versus number 8 seed, Florida Panthers, the Battle of Florida. And I'm going to say Tampa wins in 5 games. Tampa's a better team all around, offense, defense, and goaltending. They're one of the best teams in the league for a reason. Florida's a team that wouldn't have made the playoffs anyway if it wasn't for the 2014 playoffs. So go Tampa in 5.
My 1-8 is Tampa versus the Rangers. I have the Tampa winning this 4-2.
Next up, I have the number 2 seed Bruins versus the number 7 seed Columbus Blue Jackets. I think Columbus is a team that could do some damage potentially. I think they're a team just like last year that can do some upsets. But I think they're gonna keep it close. But I'm saying the Bruins win in 7 games. Columbus has a lot of heart, but Bruins won the President's Trophy. I think they'll keep it close, but Bruins in 7.
I got Boston versus Florida as my 2-7, and this one is going to easily be Boston in 5 games. Boston does check off all the boxes here, better offensively, defensively, and this year goaltending-wise.
All right, now I got the 3 seed Capitals versus 6 seed Hurricanes, a rematch of last year's playoffs. And I think the Caps get revenge on Carolina, win the series in 6 games, and I think they're upset at what happened last year. I think they're both really good teams. The Caps they weren't really great towards the end before the pause, but now they're all rested up. I think they'll get revenge on Carolina and win the 6.
No, yeah. And I got my 3-6 is the Flyers and Toronto. I actually got an upset here. I got Toronto in 6. Yeah, Toronto's going to beat the Flyers 4-2. The Flyers, it's their first time. It's their first time really getting back in a while. They've had their chances, but
They make it every other year.
Yeah, and this is like their best chance in a while. But Toronto's just been. They've been so close the past few years, and I think this year they finally get past the first round. They don't gotta face Boston. Usually they gotta play Boston first, but no, this time they gotta play the Flyers. The Flyers, they're just not gonna know what hit them. Toronto's just absolutely gonna exploit them. They're gonna get past that defense easily. Their defense, it's like Niskanen and Provorov at this point. That's all they got. Gossip Bears, nothing. So we're gonna go Toronto in 6.
And then lastly, I got the 4 seed Flyers versus 5 seed Penguins. The Battle of PA is back. Just like I agree with mostly everything you said about the Flyers. Carter Hart's a young goalie. A lot of people they're getting a lot of hype right now. I've seen a lot of people think they're going to win the cup or go to the cup because they were super hot, which I get. But the season paused. Nothing matters now. It's an open playing field. Anybody can win. Penguins, Flyers. Flyers just have to know who their daddy is. It's the Pittsburgh Penguins. Listen, let's face it. We kind of own them in the Crosby era. They've only beat us in 1 playoff series.
That was a fluke.
Yeah, it was a fluke. So I'm going to have the Penguins in 6 games. A good, hard-fought series, but like I said, Pens, we own the Flyers in the Crosby era. We're going to beat them again. Trust me, it's going to happen.
For me, I got the number 4 Capitals versus the number 5 Penguins. The Pittsburgh Penguins, they own the Capitals in the playoffs. That's just how it is. This is a new team. This is a fresh team. And the Penguins are going to win 4-2. Now we'll be going to the West, which, Jack, would you like to start that off?
So, I have the 1 seed Colorado Avalanche versus the 8 seed Chicago Blackhawks, who I had upsetting the Edmonton Oilers in the play-in rounds. And I think Chicago, after the upset, they're going to get stampeded by the Avalanche and get swept. I think the Avalanche, they're one of the best teams in hockey. Another team a lot of people were heavily favored to go to the Cup or win the Cup. Just got so much star power, so much depth. That Kadri trade with the Leafs, they won that trade. Tyson Berry's probably going to lead the Leafs anyway. Kadri's their third-line center. They're all healthy now. They got Rantanen back and Landeskog. McKinnon, who I believe should win the Hart.
That leaves me, I got the number 1 Avalanche versus the number 8 Arizona Coyotes. And, the Coyotes, I really would love to see them make a deep run. I would. I would love to see Taylor Hall, Phil Kessel, Derek Stepan. I would love to see them really come through. Clayton Keller. I'd love to see what they could do. But it's just not their year. The Avalanche are going to bum them. The Avalanche, their goaltending is very good. But their star power is just way too much and way too deep for them to lose to an Arizona Coyotes team. So, yeah, The Avalanche are going to win 4-2.
So next, I got the number 2 seed Vegas Golden Knights versus the number 7 seed Arizona Coyotes. And there's upsets every year. And this is one of my upsets, another upset. The Arizona Coyotes will beat the Vegas Golden Knights in 7 games. Vegas will have another Game 7 heartbreak in the first round. Coyotes are a team, like I said, that can do some damage. Phil Kessel shows up in the playoffs.
Does.
I really think Taylor Hall is going to be playing well. He has something to prove. He has a contract year.
Mm-hmm.
He's only playing 5 career playoff games, being in the league for almost 10 years. If Kemper is hot, they can go far.
Yeah.
So,
well, and the thing is, if Kemper isn't hot, then they got Ronta.
Yeah.
They can play both hands.
They got 2 good goalies. But yeah, this is an upset. I think the Coyotes win in 7.
For me, I got the Blues number 2 versus the number 7 Calgary Flames. It never the pieces never come together for the Calgary Flames, and it's going to be another one of those years. The Blues are going to bomb them. It's going to be 4-1.
My next is 3 Blues versus 6 Flames. I also think the Blues are going to win in 5. I mean, the Blues are such a good team, and people always forget they didn't even have their best offensive player, Tarasenko. He's going to be back now. And the Flames always choke. The Blues are still so good without Tarasenko. I think they'll win in 5.
For me, I got 3-6 Dallas Stars versus the Vancouver Canucks. Ben Bishop probably going to win the Vezina. If not, Hellebuck, Rask, one of the two. He's in there. They're great. They're a great team defensively. Offensively, they should be good, but they're eh. And then there's the Canucks. They're just a young team. They got the future superstars in the league. They got Pettersson, Besser, Hughes.
They're a good organization. They draft well.
Edler, they do draft really well.
Can't win cups.
Yeah. And goaltending, they kind of float around. They got a few hands. But I actually have an upset here. I have the Vancouver Canucks in 7 games. Like I said in our last video, we got to watch them play, and we had Murray and Jari in net, and they lit both of them up. They have the goal scoring. They're young, but they have the goal scoring, and I think that they're gonna light up Ben Bishop. And so that's why I have the Canucks in a 7-game series beating out the Stars.
And lastly, I have the 4 seed Stars versus 5 seed Canucks. I differ with you on that. I think the Stars are going to win in 6 games. Vancouver, I love their future. Such good young talent, but they just don't get the experience right now. Dallas is a Stanley Cup contender. They got a lot of good players. They're a team that can go far. They can win the Cup if all the right pieces come together and the stars align. No pun intended.
The stars align.
No pun intended. But I think Dallas is a great team right now. So 6 games.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think they're going to get shocked.
Yeah.
They're just not going to know what hit them.
There's going to be upsets. These aren't going to be all right.
Yeah, it is tough to pick the upsets.
Yeah.
You're looking at the top 4 or 5 teams. They're there's no way any of these teams are going to lose. But
that's why I picked Chicago over Edmonton, the Coyotes over Vegas. You got to pick some upsets, or it's just boring.
Yeah,
it's just unrealistic.
It's never.
You have to.
Never happens.
Yeah.
Who would have thought last year the Blue Jackets were going to sweep best regular season team of all time? And now we got the 4 Vegas and number 5 Edmonton for me. And I really did want to pick Edmonton to go deep in this, but I do have the Vegas Golden Knights winning 4-2. They are going to be very upset about what happened last year. They're not going to let it happen again. They've got a lot more deep this past year. They have lost a few pieces, but they have probably the best 1-2 punch in net. So if McDavid and Draisaitl light up Fleury, then Leonard will be right there too. Well, and if they light both of them up, then I don't know what's going to happen. They'll probably not win. But I'm going to go with the Vegas Golden Knights in 6 here.
All right, so moving on to the second round of the playoffs. In the East, I got Tampa Bay versus Pittsburgh, and I got Boston versus the Caps. So first, with Tampa versus Pittsburgh, a rematch of the conference finals in 2016. Another great series. But man, when I look at Pittsburgh, all the depth they have, Tampa's a lot of depth too. Tampa probably is the best team on paper. Pittsburgh, just Sid and Malkin, it's hard to pick against them. With Gensel back, I'm going to think we beat Tampa in 6 games. Close series. But I'll give the edge of the Penguins in 6.
Yeah.
And then Boston versus the Washington Capitals. I'm going to go with another upset here. Capitals beat the Bruins in 5 games. 5, yeah. President's Trophy. They always like to lose in the second round of playoffs. But I don't want to do not every series is long, 6 or 7 games. So I think Washington, they've been pretty good against the Bruins.
Yeah.
In the Ovechkin era. I remember 2012, Joe Ward, overtime winner, upset. So, and I'll do Pens and Caps, both win the series, and that'll set up a Penguins versus Capitals Eastern Conference Final.
All right. So for me in the East, we got the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then the Boston Bruins versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. So first, Tampa versus Toronto. This is gonna be Tampa in 6, pretty much a no-brainer. Toronto, they're gonna put up a good fight, but they're still just too young. They don't got all the pieces they need yet. They need some more experience, but it is coming along for them. They got to get better. They're not just gonna go first round exits to the Cup final. They got to build up there. So we're gonna go Tampa in 6 for that one, and then the Boston Bruins versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's gonna be a great series. There's going to be star power. It's going to be chippy. Boston likes to play a chippy game, but the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to come out on top in 7 games. I mean, yeah, you did say they're not all going to be long. I think this one's going to be a long series and be a hard-fought series for the Penguins.
It's hard to go back to the Cup. Back to years, unless you have Sid or Genie on your team.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and you don't see it very often, except you do here. But that sets up a Penguins versus Tampa rematch of the 2016 conference finals.
And in the Western Conference, I got the Colorado Avalanche versus the Arizona Coyotes, and the St. Louis Blues versus the Dallas Stars. Colorado versus Coyotes. I mean, I was really high on the Coyotes. Really am, but
yeah,
I think their little run here is going to come to an end against Colorado. And I think they'll make an interesting series. I'll say Colorado wins in 6. And then Blues versus the Stars, the rematch, of course, from last year. I think it goes to 7 games again, but I think this time Dallas comes out on top. It's hard to go back to the Cup again. Boston, the Blues, I don't think either of them are going to go back. I think Dallas gets some revenge and wins in 7, setting up a Colorado Avalanche versus Dallas Stars Western Conference Final.
So, that means I have the Colorado Avalanche versus the Vancouver Canucks, and then the St. Louis Blues versus the Vegas Golden Knights. So first, we got the Avs versus the Canucks. Just like you with the Avs and Coyotes, same with me, Avs and Vancouver. They gave a nice little run. They did the best they could, but they're going to meet an absolute brick wall with the Colorado Avalanche. It's going to be hard, very hard to beat them, and the Canucks just aren't even close to getting there yet. It's going to be a 4-1 series win. The Canucks are just not going to know what hit them with the Colorado Avalanche. So Colorado Avalanche heading to the conference finals. They'll be meeting up with the Vegas Golden Knights. Just like you, the Blues are not going to get past. Both Blues and Bruins are not going to get past the second round. Yeah. So in 7 games, I have the Knights beating out the Blues. That's the thing, the Knights, they really do have too much depth on offense, defense, goaltending. I know I keep bringing that up, but it's going to be tough to crack that 1-2 punch of Fleury and Leonard. I really do think it is, and the Blues are not going to be able to figure it out. So I have an Avalanche versus Vegas Western Conference Finals.
Moving on to the conference finals. In the East, I got the Penguins versus the Capitals. The rematch everyone wants to see every year. There's nothing better than Pens Capitals. Yeah. It's the greatest thing to watch in all of hockey.
People love it. The media loves Crosby versus Ovi.
It's
they
great.
Absolutely
it's so entertaining every game, every series. And I think it's going to go to 7 games. It's going to go to distance. But this time, the Pens win. I can't see the Capitals beating us 2 in a row. Let's face it. We own that franchise. We played them 11 times in the playoffs. We won 9 series. 9. We're 9-2 against them. Caps had their cup.
They met a lot.
They beat us last time. It was a great series. But I think we get them this time in 7.
They deserved it. But
I just want to see a good-looking series, but I think the Pens win in 7.
So for me, I got the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Pittsburgh Penguins in the Eastern Final, and I also have the Pittsburgh Penguins winning in 7 games. Like I said, rematch of 2016, same outcome in 7. It's tough to root against the, Crosby Malkin. Tampa, they're going to get their time. They're going to get their time soon. It's going to be the year that no one's really expecting it. After their late run, everyone is kind of high on them again. But it's going to be one of these years. They're going to get like the 4th seed or something like that. They're not.
Yeah, like the Capitals.
Yeah.
Like in the Blues last year.
It wasn't their year, but then they end up winning. Yeah. And I think that's what it is for Lightning. I think they get in their heads too much. Yeah. Every time someone goes in against them, they know that they're the underdog, that everyone's rooting against them. The other team eats that up, and Tampa pitches cannot react, and they do not know how to play against that, and they just get burned. And I think it's going to be the same now. Penguins, a lot of people, they don't think Crosby's the best anymore. People say Malkin's no longer a top 10 player. Gino hates that. Gino hates that. Crosby maybe not so much, but they are hungry for more cups. They are very hungry for more cups.
Yeah, people just hate the Penguins, so they're biased.
Yeah.
Just like how people hate Tom Brady.
Yeah, and they're biased, but who keeps
good.
winning? Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And who keeps winning? The Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Penguins are going back to the Stanley Cup in a few months.
I do agree, though, with Tampa. I think they will win a cup eventually with that core.
Very
Stamkos and Kucherov and Hedman point. They have to. They're too talented. But, yeah, I think it will be a year where nobody expects them to win.
Mm-hmm.
In my Western Conference final, of course, the Colorado Avalanche versus the Dallas Stars. I think the Avalanche won in 5 games. So far, the Avalanche have kind of rolled their way to the cup final. They're just a very talented team.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the year, I did have Penguins Avalanche as my cup final prediction, and I do want to stick with that because it looks like it's a real possibility.
Yeah.
So it's setting up for a Penguins versus Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup final for me.
At the beginning of the season, I picked the Penguins versus the Vegas Golden Knights. My midseason prediction, I picked the Penguins versus the Golden Knights. Now, I'm picking the Penguins versus the Colorado Avalanche. The Colorado Avalanche are going to beat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-2. Like I said before, they are way too talented to lose to any other team in the West. Vegas, like I said, their 1-2 punch, they're going to figure them out. Nathan McKinnon is an absolute superstar. Top 3, 4 in the league. He is amazing. And it's about time the Colorado Avalanche got some respect back and made it back to the Stanley Cup. And they're going to do that this year. Pens, Avs, Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, so we both have Pens Avalanche in the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
So, for me, to win a Stanley Cup, I think you have to learn how to lose before you have to learn how to win. The Penguins, of course, lost the Cup in 2008. Then they won in 2009 and won 2 more since then. Colorado, like Tampa, I think they will win a cup with McKinnon. But I think they got to lose first. They don't know how to win.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Pittsburgh Penguins win the Stanley Cup and retain that dynasty and shut everybody up who thinks, oh, it's over. The Penguins remind me of the Patriots. Everybody thinks they're done. They keep winning Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
That Crosby-Malkin duo is one of the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
They're still in their early 30s and playing at a high level. I think the Penguins win in 6 games. And I think the Conn Smythe winner will be Jake Gensel. After returning from injury, will have a strong playoff push.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was looking at 40 goals this season.
Yeah.
You know?
I was thinking about you could pick Malkin or Crosby, but I mean that's an obvious answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go there with a wild card choice and pick Jake Gensel
Yeah.
to win the Conn Smythe. Penguins in 6, Crosby Malkin win their 4th cup together.
I'm a strong believer in that. You got to lose a cup to win a cup, and even maybe not just lose a cup, but make deep runs. If you don't lose a cup, then you got to make consecutive deep runs. Like Pens real quick lost one with Crosby, and then they won one. But Caps, decades of second round, first round losses. Then they finally broke through by beating the Penguins, who constantly would beat the Caps to go to the cup. The Caps beat the Pens to go to the cup. Yeah. So it was nice to see.
Even Detroit Red Wings with Steve Yzerman, they lost a cup.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta learn. There's never a team that just wins out of the gate.
The Blues, they lost a few Western Conference finals. So I think the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to get it done. The Colorado Avalanche, they're going to give a good fight. They're going to do a strong man's fight. McKinnon is going to do everything he could. McKinnon is going to finish his playoffs with over 30 points. But you know who else is going to finish the playoffs with over 30 points? Evgeny Malkin. Malkin, my prediction, is going to get 20 goals this playoffs. And Malkin is going to get 20 goals. He's going to absolutely light it up. It's going to be like just about every game.
Malkin was the best Penguin this whole year.
Yeah, Malkin was the best Penguin. Malkin and Russ. That line is amazing. If you haven't watched that line in action, then please watch these playoffs. Watch Penguins hockey. Malkin and Russ are going to tear it up. And I'm honestly thinking that Jake Gensel might join that line like they did during the regular season.
Before he got hurt, that line was rolling.
Yeah.
Sid was down, so Gensel got moved.
I think they're going to stick Zucker, Sid, and Sheary together, and it's going to be Gensel, Malkin, Rust. Absolute dominant. It's going to be like the HBK line all over again.
That's a first line on any other team.
Yeah, it's going to be the GMR line. They are absolutely going to roll through teams. And I think the Conn Smythe could go to either 3. I think all 3 of them are going to lead the Pens in points. Crosby going to have a terrific postseason, but he's not going to be one of the leaders in points. But I think those 3 are. gonna absolutely obliterate it. And with Malkin getting the most goals, he's gonna get over 20 goals, over 30 points in these playoffs. And Evgeny Malkin is gonna take home his second Conn Smythe. And remind everyone, he's a top 100 player of all time, and he's still top 10 in the league. We both have the Pittsburgh Penguins winning the Stanley Cup.
Yep. And of course, anything can happen. These are just our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And just remember, nobody's 100% right. So people could comment, "Oh, your predictions suck." Well, your predictions aren't going to be 100% either.
Mm-hmm. If you think it's something different, then please do not hesitate to comment down below what you think. If you think the Penguins, both of us picking the Penguins abs is stupid, then tell us why. Tell us who you think. And I doubt we will, but if we get enough comments on this video, we'll make a reaction video to you guys. I don't really think we're gonna, because our views stick around maybe in the 20s, like sub 20s.
Yeah.
But if all 20 of you comment what you think the Stanley Cup will be, who you think the Conn Smythe is gonna be awarded to, then comment down below and we'll make a reaction video to that. This is just something new we're starting. We did it a little bit last year. Then we did. And if this gets a lot of likes, then we'll be making analysis videos on maybe every game. No, probably not every game. Every series in the
Depends
first
on how
round.
big this gets.
Yeah, if this gets big, we'll talk about all the play-in series.
Everybody has to start somewhere.
Yeah, and this is where we're gonna start. We're gonna start with our prediction videos. We're gonna work up. Like I said, we'll do maybe all the playing game series, we'll do all the first round series, maybe second round series. We'll do some analysis because we really do watch every game.
We're big hockey fans. We miss hockey just like everybody else out there.
The only time we miss a game is if we're watching another game, and then we'll still watch the highlights for that game we missed. We catch everything hockey. We are waiting for it. I'm gonna have 3 screens up: my phone, my TV, my computer when hockey's back on. We're gonna analyze all these games for you guys, and we are gonna determine the winner still based off after every round. Just say the Penguins lose to the Canadians. It's not going to happen, but just say it does happen. Then we will make a new video. We'll talk about who we think is going to win now, based off of
every round
watching the playing games.
Hopefully we get them most right. We feel like we're usually good at our predictions.
I feel like we're
no
pretty
one's ever
solid.
100%. But
no one is ever 100%. But we try to be as close as we can, and I think we
just love the
do
game.
Pretty good.
And I hope, out of all this, the Corona and that the season's late, I hope we gain a lot more fans, if anything, in the NHL. Because NHL is such a great game. I know it's number 4 in the out of the Big 4. Some people in ESPN don't even consider it the Big 4.
Max Kellerman needs to get out of here.
Yeah, he's wrong on that. But
He's
I
wrong
hope
on
the
a lot
hockey.
of things.
I hope it grows. It's a great game.
People watching this, if you're not big on hockey, which you probably are if you're watching this video. If you're not that big though, then watch some games. Take from us.
Fun.
We're huge hockey guys, and we love the sport. We love watching people enjoy the sport. There's nothing better than that. I think that's it for this video. Hope you stuck around to the end. Like I said, comment down below thoughts. Give it a like, because if we see good feedback on this video, then we're going to keep doing more. And if you want to see more, then hit a like button. So, anything else to add?
See you next time.